Please visit www.patreon.com/onectoday for the full video.
Ja, hallo ihr Lieben, einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Well, I think we talk in English this evening. Very good evening, dears, to all of you, to all the Patreon supporters. I thank you very much for joining in this. Spontaneously, I feel the safety to share some insight with you. A while ago, a good friend sent me an article called "What Actually is the Forest Garden?" And I would simply like to read the article together with you and comment on it and share my perspectives on the content. Record. Let's go. Okay, nice. So now here we can see the homepage. The article is in German, so I'm going to read it in German and comment on it in English and translate the regarding contents. The content is written by Philip. He looks like a nice dude, like an experienced dude also. Yeah, that's Philip. He wrote the article. In this article, he shares his perspective on how Foodforest work. So he starts by asking the question, what actually is a food forest? And that this question is raised again and again, and that this term is used in different contexts, and individually we interpret it very differently. Here he would like to think about what a food forest is in a temperate climate. This is very important to all of us because in any way, not only a food forest, but any agricultural project is different in any climate, and not only in every climate, but actually every property, every piece of land is unique, has unique geological conditions, unique wind, a unique wind situation, a unique sun situation. The earth is unique. So in any way, but here, like for the purpose of generalization, we talk about a food forest in a temperate climate that is, let's say, north until Denmark, maybe even some parts of Scandinavia, and south until the Mediterranean Sea, I would say. Okay. Yes, there is a lot of confusion already in the English realm of speech, because there is the word forest gardening, and many people think that it's the same thing as permaculture. So actually, I would like to take a moment, even though it seems binary or trivial, but it actually is important to understand some historical facts about this. Permaculture, in the very beginning, originally, was derived from permanent agriculture, permaculture. Nowadays, many people say, like the evolution of the word, nowadays many people say it simply means permanent culture, and it doesn't necessarily have to be agriculture. However, I personally, individually, do not agree very much on this. And that's the freedom for everybody. Everybody can do the culture that he or she wants, of course. It just seems to me that if a culture is to be permanent, it has to be, or it has to include, it has to start with a permanent agriculture. Because if the agricultural system, so the food and resource producing system of the culture, is not permanent, the culture itself will not be permanent itself. So in any way, this is why actually so many people of us, also like Sepp Holzer and Mark Shepard, just to mention two, but also many other people's friends of me, we all start with the agriculture and all the culture that results out of this. Maybe architecture, art, singing, dancing, education, all the culture that results out of this is fine. It is definitely based on a principle that is permanent. But we can have the best education, we can have the finest agriculture, the finest architecture, the finest dancing culture. But if the society in the whole is not making a permanent agriculture, soon they will run out of food, they will run out of energy, they will run out of heating sources, they will result in a desert. And then they cannot realize their amazing schools and their finest architecture and so on. So this is why actually I would say permaculture does mean permanent agriculture. So let's see. And he says that many people confuse forest gardening with permaculture. And I say no. I say forest gardening, or I would say yes, forest gardening is a form of permanent agriculture. And so far I know little other cultures, I don't know any other agricultural methods than forest gardening which are permanent. So I disagree with him on that actually. So then that was translated. Yeah, anyways, he comes from the forest sciences and from supposedly ecological basic reflections regarding also the classical disciplines of design. He approaches the topic as follows. He would see the word. He would like to take a look at the pieces of the word. That is forest and garden. Yeah, so he comes up with a definition by the United Nations, and they say that forest is a surface area of at least half a hectare that is overshadowed by at least 10% of woods. That means trees. That is consciously chosen so in order to also find forests in arid lands, and therefore also economize these forests in arid lands, to be economic with them, to make trade in these forests, and also to protect these forests supposedly. I also disagree on this because examples. There are deserts in any way, and also arid climates. They don't have been like that forever. That is an assumption that we make on historical myths, as I would call them. And in any way, climate is not a fixed thing. So if there is a desert or a forest that only has 10% of trees, that is only overshadowed, a forest whose surface area is only 10% overshadowed by trees, this is just a human concept, a human idea that this is a forest. To me, this is an ecological system that actually before was a forest in the last centuries or thousands of years was decultivated, cut down by humans. And now humans like the UN, like the United Nations, claim that this is supposedly a forest. So I would be very careful with that also. Just ein wenig, yeah, surely there is also some greenwashing. There he's right for sure. He also says that for sure there is some greenwashing involved with this because some wooden, like some forests, so that some forests still can be defined as such. And the laws, or the forest laws, on the contrary, say that forest simply is a surface area that is cultivated with forest plants plus some bureaucratic documents that state that this is a forest.
Please visit www.patreon.com/onectoday for the full video.